This week on FRCmedia News, Fall River's train depot is complete. Focus now shifts to signals, testing, and safety. The Watuppa Rowing Center celebrates its first college recruit, and We Heart Fall River and Fall River Open Studios will kick off the seasonal event campaign. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, May 4th, 2023. This is FRCmedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. Construction on the Fall River branch of SouthCoast Rail is substantially complete. The focus is now on signal and train testing and ensuring residents stay away from what will be increased activity along the local tracks. SouthCoast Rail Senior Production Manager Scott Kelly says integrating the intricate signaling system will take place over the next few months.
They're going from north to south, Middleborough to Taunton, Myrick's to New Bedford, Myrick's to Fall River. So a lot of that stuff is going on. About 99% of all the civil work on the job is done. So right now it's just track and these two signal systems. So we will get into the ATC system once it's in and tested. We will tie it into, it'll be tied into Boston, and it will be dispatched from Boston from that point on. And that'll give us operations so we can finish the positive train control system that follows on after that.
Residents will also be seeing MBTA trains on local tracks this summer as engineers become more familiar with the route. Mr. Kelly says train testing will include ensuring trains can maintain proper speeds along the branch.
We take all the ATC system and we certify it at like a 39 mile an hour up to 59 mile an hour speeds, depending on where the train speeds are, the train limits are. And so we commission that system at 59 miles an hour. So this is live trains coming through with a full test, and every bell and whistle needs to be on, tested, and certified. And then we go into the PTC system, which is positive train control, and we do that testing following on the ATC system, and that brings us up to the final speeds of 79 miles an hour on the right of way. So you're going to see trains that are running right now. They were running at 10, they're at 30 now, and they're going to be at 59, by sometime this summer, and they'll be 79 by the end of the year, full operating speed.
SouthCoast Rail Project Manager Gene Fox says as trains are being tested, it's important for residents to stay away from the tracks.
For over 60 years, people were able to safely walk along these tracks pretty much. You saw the occasional freight train lumbering along at 10 miles an hour once or twice a week, and that was it. So you could walk the dog without getting hit. You could actually, and they do, homeless encampments set up along the tracks throughout the corridor. ATVs, they see that as their own private recreational area. First of all, it's illegal. But that's not the primary reason here. To your point, it's going to be extremely active and extremely dangerous to be anywhere near the tracks. And that includes drivers who think they can dodge gates at grade crossings, I might add. If you are hit at a grade crossing because you decide to dodge the gates, that train can go a mile before it stops, dragging that vehicle with you. So even if you're okay and you're calling 911, I just got hit, by the time they find you, you're a mile away from where that call was first pinged in.
Ms. Fox says the MBTA will soon make a final decision on a train schedule for Fall River and set rates for commuters. MBTA staff will also be conducting training with local public safety officials on how to handle rail emergencies.
We are working very intently with police, fire, EMS in all the communities that SouthCoast Rail will be serving. And I have to say they've been extremely responsive and interested. We're going to be conducting a drill in July, a real drill where all of the communities can come together and see what it's like if a car gets hit at a grade crossing or if there's a major crash or a derailment, how do you extricate people safely? Who's in charge? Who has to go first into the morass? It's going to be very concentrated and very deliberate what they do. They're going to really be learning the ropes about railway safety and railway rescue, which is very different from a highway rescue. For example, the jaws of life can cut into a vehicle on Route 79, but it cannot cut into a locomotive.
With the reconstruction of Route 79 underway and waterfront events on the schedule, Ms. Fox says she's working with city officials to allow the train depot parking lot to be used for summer activities.
We're trying very hard to work through our real estate group to make sure that that city people and visitors can access this parking lot over the course of the summer with the ongoing Route 79 work that's taking up parking. We understand there's a big summer draw here, and if we can help, we will. There are some things we have to iron out with this agreement, but I don't foresee any major difficulties with it. I think it'll be perfect for people to be able to park here, safely cross, because the contractor over there is going to install a very nice crossing area for pedestrians so they can get down to the waterfront and enjoy all the beautiful vistas and things there are to do down there.
Fall River City Councilor Pamela Liberty has struck a deal with the prosecution on charges she harassed the wife of a former lover in Westport and intimidated witnesses in the police investigation. Ms. La Liberty in court today admitted to the 2 misdemeanor harassment charges, receiving probation until December 29th. If she does not have contact with the victim between now and then, those charges will be dropped. One of the 2 felony charges of witness intimidation was also dropped today, with the other slated to be dropped at the end of the year, again provided that Ms. La Liberty does not have contact with the victim between now and that time. Ms. La Liberty's defense attorney Frank Camera says the agreement is fair.
She took responsibility for the misdemeanors. Certainly in retrospect, I'm sure she could have and would have made different choices. There was an admission. And as long as she complies with the essentially just do what she's doing now, then the case will be dismissed.
Do you have a city-issued trash, recycling, or yard waste bin? Well, the city can fix it. The Department of Community Maintenance has begun its first ever cart maintenance program. If you have a cart in need of a little TLC, place it curbside every collection day between now and the end of June between the hours of 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. DCM employees will inspect carts to identify any damage and make any necessary repairs or replacements on the spot. If you have a cart that needs attention or you have any questions, please contact DCM at 508-324-2585 or 508-324-3584. Here's an update on those individuals in Fall River who have secured nomination papers to run for mayor, city council, or school committee in this year's city election. In the race for mayor, there are no changes from when we last reported this list. Incumbent Mayor Paul Coogan is joined by former Mayor Sam Sutter, 2021 candidate Michael Vandal, Jordan James Sylvia, and Gabriel Amaral. For City Council, 6 incumbents thus far have taken out papers looking for another term. Linda Pereira, Brad Kilby, Andrew Raposo, Michelle Dion, Joe Camara, and Laura Washington. Also taking out papers is former councilor and current school committee member Paul Hart, former councilor and state representative David Sullivan, Bob Pearson, Jordan James Sylvia, and Gabriel Amaral, who also took out papers for mayor, Gloria Sadler, Joseph Salvador, Ricky Tith, Matthew Springer, Paulo Amaral, and Joshua Texera. For school committee, incumbent Shelley Pereira, Sarah Rodrigues, Bobby Bailey, and Mimi Larrabee have taken out papers, as have challengers Colin Dias, Charles Chase, Warren Alves, Rena Brown, and former school committee member Tom Corey. All nomination papers must be returned to the elections office by June 28th. A local rower at the Watuppa Rowing Center in Fall River parlayed her local training to land a spot on the rowing team at Boston College. Reagan Rock of Mattapoisett played volleyball and basketball at Old Rochester Regional High School and began looking for another athletic opportunity in 2019 when she discovered the free rowing program at Watuppa.
I had zero experience. I honestly joined just because of my height. It was just nice to have like a very easygoing, just like really like a very like open program where like anyone can come and kind of just row just to learn to row and just kind of just like better themselves. And I feel like having it be free is just very like liberating. You know, you can just come when you want, and it's just a very nice chance to kind of get to know a team and get to know a sport without any cost or like zero hesitation at all.
Reagan was interested in attending Boston College in hopes of one day becoming a doctor, but her acceptance was deferred. The coaches at Watuppa saw her dedication and skill level and made inroads with BC coach Grace Hollowell to see if Reagan might be a fit for her team.
Coach Hollowell, just like round two, like I was like, is there anything else I can do to get a spot? And then I was actually at a DECA conference in Boston, and then I got a call. It was from Coach Hollowell, and next thing you know, I was the 11th recruit, and I was super ecstatic. It was the best day of my life. I expected to have just a nice family of girls all working together to be the best they can be at rowing, and I just can't wait to get to know the like the people, the city, even like the classes, like the teachers seem super nice and accepting, and I just cannot wait to just get on campus and get started to row.
Reagan credits the leadership of Watuppa coaches Sandra Cardillo and Sarah Fisk for guiding her to success.
Sarah and Sandra are such great coaches because they see your potential. You know, I worked into like Watuppa having zero expectations, just wanting to have a good time, and I feel like Sandra really pushes you to like your furthest edge, and like they really focus on like technique and skill, and they always want their rowers to be as best as possible, as technical as possible, as synchronized as possible. And I feel like by having that level of I guess just like technique coaching and very careful coaching, they can make anyone like their best that they can be.
Parents Cindy and Michael Rock did not see rowing as a path to a college education for Reagan, but as they learned more about the sport and their daughter's excitement and commitment to it, they could not be prouder.
I have been on happy cloud 9 now since she was recruited and she's rowing, because as a mom, she's so happy and I'm so happy.
So I recorded that race that we talked about, the Class B sprints, and in the recording you can hear me like as the race goes on and on, just melting down because I knew that this was a pivotal moment in her life. And yeah, some tears were shed, I'd say.
Watuppa's mission is to provide opportunities for youth to experience the physical and social benefits of rowing. Reagan's success is the epitome of what Watuppa is trying to achieve.
Rowing is unlike any sport I've ever done in my life before. It's super accessible and super fun. Like, just give it a chance, give it a try, and I guarantee you, you'll be hooked like I was. And I feel like it's just a great chance to kind of come, do something else other than school, meet new people, meet new friends. You know, I met so many friends going here, which I had no idea who they even were beforehand, and I'm so thankful I know them now. And I feel like a rowing team is so connected, and it's just so on par and so just synchronized, unlike any other sport. And I feel like if you just come here and give it a shot, you'll love it like I do.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Occupational therapist. Renewal Rehab, located at 1 Father de Valles Boulevard, is looking for a full-time, experienced occupational therapist to conduct physical and psychological assessments of clients and develop a customized treatment plan. Job number 188-93067. Optometrist. Center for Sight, located at 1565 North Main Street, is seeking a full-time optometrist to diagnose, manage, and treat conditions and diseases of the human eye and visual system. Job number 188-96151. QC Lab Technician. CIPLA, located at 927 Current Road, is looking for a full-time QC Lab Technician, responsible for conducting routine testing or other analysis in a specific group or department setting. Job number 188-96219. Server. Fall River Grill, located at 363 2nd Street, is looking for a full-time server. For more information, call 508-673-9151. Family Service Association, located at 101 Rock Street, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Clinical Supervisor, job number 188-86270. Licensed Practical Nurse, job number 188-97043. For more information about these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
As spring progresses, we see the beginning of the outdoor festival season. The unofficial kickoff takes place next weekend with the We Heart Fall River Festival and the Fall River Open Studios Tour. Sullivan Drive outside Government Center will be shut down Saturday, May 13th for the We Heart Fall River Festival. The event is organized by Viva Fall River and grew out of the SouthCoast Spring Arts Festival.
The reason that we started this was because the first year we were finding that there weren't a lot of Fall River organizations that were putting on their own events. And so I said, let's just have one big event where we invite everybody to come and we collaborate and we just show all the best of what Fall River has to offer for arts and culture. And then last year we really ramped up with more of bringing in a lot more community groups too, because I think that that's part of our culture, is our diverse community. So that's how it started. And we're thrilled to be doing this for the third year, and I hope it goes on for many more years to come. It's the first event, it's early spring, everybody's, the flowers are awakening, everything's awakening, and we want to let people know that this is just the first of so many events that are happening this summer. I mean, even more than last year, if that's even possible, because last year was packed.
This year's third edition of the festival builds upon the success of the first two.
We definitely have more food trucks this year. And we also have 2 local restaurants that will be, they don't have food trucks, but they're gonna have some setups. So that's Mario's Lebanese Bakery and Hongme's restaurant. So really trying to bring in some of the diversity of our cultures and our foods, because We Heart Fall River isn't just about arts and culture, it's about community as well. We have Mario, which the kids have been loving. Super Mario Brothers came out. So if you have a grandchild or a son or daughter, they will love that. And we also have Colby James and the Ramblers, which is a wonderful band that plays at the Narrows and all over New England actually, and they'll be playing from 1 to 3:30. We've got 40 vendors over on Old 2nd Street. Anything that you can think of, we've got there. And live performances from some of our favorite community groups. So we've got the Durfee Jazz Band, we've got Artistic Dance Studio, we've got Youth Musical Theater Corp. So, I mean, this is just truly just a celebration and a day for everybody to come out and just discover some new organizations. Because, I think I discovered a couple new organizations this time around as well.
Happening simultaneously next week is the second Fall River Open Studios Tour, organized by the Fall River Arts and Culture Coalition.
So I want to make sure that people save the date. We have it coming up on Friday, May 12th. It starts at 4 o'clock and runs until 8 p.m. in the evening. And then if you're not able to join on Friday, or maybe you did and you only got to go to some of the studios because we have 11 locations, come back on Saturday, May 13th. It will be running from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. And so with the 11 locations, well, what can you expect? I would say, what can you not expect? We have artists participating that are at all different stages in their career, from Little Miss Art to well-known Brian Fox. We have the Grimshaw Gidowitz Gallery participating at Bristol Community College. We also have our friends at the Fall River Museum of Contemporary Art, FRCMedia. They're celebrating their brand new location over at 44 Troy Street. So their participation will look a little bit more like a cookout. But you'll also be able to see artists that are creating work. There will be artists also hosting live events inside their studio spaces as well.
Over 700 people took part in last year's tour, and Ms. Okino is confident that number will be surpassed this year.
Events like this are so incredibly important to the creative sector because it puts them at the forefront. It gives them the opportunity to have people come into their space that maybe would never have known that it existed before. And that's the thing that's kind of wonderful and really tricky about a lot of these old mill buildings or repurposed spaces that these artist studios, where they are. One of the benefits also to the cultural sector is the opportunity to make sales. I mean, to be honest, really, that's a wonderful thing that could happen during these 2 days. And also just to meet new people and to make connections, whether with other creatives or other people that work in the city, or as you said, people coming in from out of town.
We'll wrap up this edition of FRC Media News right after this.
Welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Fabio. Fabio is a young male. He's very friendly. He loves to be held and pet. He will come out of the cage on his own if you open the door. He would do good, you know, in any home that's equipped for a rabbit. I'd say young kids are okay. He's pretty laid back bunny. No dogs, of course. No cats, of course. He loves attention. He loves roaming around. The other day we did have them outside in the fenced-in area getting some sun. Bunnies have a life expectancy 10 to 15 years, so it is quite a commitment for a bunny. They're not very hard to care for, but they do need attention. They need to get out of the cage a bit, stretch their legs. So if you'd like to meet Fabio, if you're interested in a bunny, come on down to 300 Linwood Street. Fabio would love to meet you. Today we have Pacific. Pacific is 14 weeks old. He's a little love bug. He likes to be held. He likes to be cuddled. He wasn't originally an owner surrender, but he's a sweet little guy. He has some awesome markings. As you can see, I'm going to put him down so you can see the awesome markings on this little guy. He would do good in any home. You know, he's a typical kitten. He's gonna, you know, want to play, run around, and, you know, he'll do well in any home. Kids, I would say, are fine as long as, you know, they can respect his boundaries. He's very easy to get along with. If you would like to meet Pacific, come on down to 300 Linwood Street. Pacific would love to meet you.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website, frmedia.org, for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. We leave you this week with a look at the artwork of students at Bristol Community College at its annual juried art exhibit at the Fall River campus. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.